Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Now Loading Esports. Today we've got a scrim between Drexel's Team 2 and Space Created. I'm joined today by my friend Kanor. Hi,
How
Connor.
we doing? How we doing, Rick?
I'm doing pretty good. Good news. Had pizza. Pet a dog.
Pizza today? Before the
Yeah,
scrim?
I
Daring.
know. Yeah. Potential
So,
bathroom break in the future.
okay, I'll keep that in mind. So we've got Drexel's team 2 here. Now I'm filling in for your usual weekly dose of Sponty, who
Yeah.
Rick is your teammate on Kutztown's team 1. Um, Fill me in. What's been going on with Drexel team 2 this season?
Well, I would say their main issue that I've seen throughout these scrims that we've been watching is sort of a lack of a head. They don't quite have the team leadership and the team fundamentals that you really see. They're very good individual players, but the team fundamentals were a little on the low side uh, to start off. But they've actually gotten a lot better. A couple of players have apparently stepped up. They talked to them a lot uh, in my personal time, and I'm hoping to see that he carry on to today's scrim.
That's great to hear. I'm very well versed in the wide variety of skill at collegiate and collegiate Overwatch that being. Um, and it's really nice to see teams progress skill-wise and as a group throughout a season. And that's what you get here on Outloading. You get all the VoDs. You can go back. You can watch their first, week that they played together on our production stream here and see, maybe where they've improved. Um, so we've got one player a little bit late, but we're here to keep you entertained until then. I don't think this past week there was any Overwatch 2 news, any fresh news. Is that correct?
No news yet, but we're a week closer to the alleged launch of the beta, so there's that.
Right. I think we're a week away. Is that right? I think it was the
likely two or
Okay.
three.
I think I think it was mid-May. I think it was May 18th we heard that in mid-April there would be a beta. So either probably this upcoming, probably later this week, or maybe next week after that. Um, I'm signed up. I hope you at home are as well. This
Oh yeah,
should be like pretty mind-bending for us Overwatch players. We've been pretty parched for content, and we're about to get a monsoon drenching of new stuff. Probably no new characters except for Sojourn, but from what I'm hearing, we've got 8 incoming heroes fully finished for the full release. So excited.
that that if that's true, there are 8 new heroes that drop at launch. I would be amazed. That I don't know if it necessarily justifies the silence, but it certainly justifies the drought of Overwatch 1 content, at least. Uh, and having 8 new heroes in the cast would definitely shake things up, at least for the ranked meta and the sort of organized team meta that we see. And hopefully that means, I was about to say hopefully it means Double Shield's gone, but missing one tank would pretty much do the trick.
Right, right. I mean, we can at this point live in a world with zero shield in Overwatch 2. You could run any number of no shield tanks and play aggressive, and we may be receiving 2, 3 tanks who will fill that role. I'm guessing because there is only one tank player on each Overwatch 2 team that will have less tanks to choose from than we would supports. But I mean, who knows?
Right. Gonna
So
be
here
starting
we
off on
are,
Mojang. Very
getting
cool.
right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got Night Market here. Typically from Drexel, I've seen in the past they like the sim, but last stream actually they opted for a ball comp, and it seems like they could potentially do that again, which I personally am a big fan of on this map.
Right, they may be taking some notes from their big brothers in Team 1 here. I know that that is their go-to pick on basically every map. Get the far ball combo. I respect it wholeheartedly because I know that it's not the easiest to perform. So we'll see. I'm excited to see. This is a staple starter map in Overwatch and Overwatch Collegiate. So this will definitely set the tone for if they want to continue using this composition later this evening.
It does take a lot of discipline, actually, to run this sort of ball far comp, because you'd think on an individual level everybody sort of just does their own thing, but it does take a lot of individual discipline to not go in, because dying is very easy to do, especially when you're up against a brawl comp like this with the Symmetra that Space Created is running. You really feel the need to contest the point, try and make something happen before they contest, but realistically, you just have to wait, let your Pharah get the damage, try and squeak in whatever value you can.
We've got a great take so far here from Team Space Created, but Drexel's spreading out. They're spreading their damage out very wide, which is what you want to do against this composition. And we'll see the first kill of the Scrim going to a fallen D.Va. Space Created will take the point early.
Pretty much exactly what I said. You really have to have the discipline to not go in and just get whatever little value you can without sort of rushing into the brawl comp that they're almost inevitably going to have, and that's exactly what happened. They got a little too greedy and they got punished for it.
We've got Nasty on Unwritten here on the back of the point, the sole members of Drexel here, and even while their team is regrouping are able to get a kill. Funjin will answer back with one of their own onto him and Zaya.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Zaya, but I think Nasty has the potential here to really clean up. Just gotta get that D.Va out of his face and pretty much take this point by himself.
We've got Zumi on the Zenyatta for Drexel Team 2, the protege of CB. I'm looking forward to see him fragging out on this character. He's doing a great job so far, cleaning a couple players up here, but there's still a lot of percent gain from Space Created, even though they've lost the fight. And here we go, it's still going up, 50%, and Iconic will take Zaya off the map after coming back from that early pick that happened to him, and this fight is not anybody's win yet.
Poor Zaya. Grouped off 3 times. The wall coming out, but not fast enough to save Tusa. But the Tim turrets will trade, and Space Created is going to maintain control at this point.
That was incredible.
Huge blow to Drexel.
I think we saw a Symmetra turret for Tusa there stay the whole time. One of those turrets, I think, remained on the point that whole time. Drexel not cleaning it up, and it eventually bit them in the butt. And now look at the percent here, right? We've got a super long middle team fight, and now it's almost 99-0.
Got a lot of ults online here. 4 from the side of Drexel, 5 coming up on the D.Va bomb. Zaya, I'm gonna be honest, man, you just gotta stop doing that. I believe in you. You got this. Focus up, and he's got this. It's still very winnable, but that Sim TP is very smart on their side. They can rush directly onto Zumi, forcing her to use that Transcendence. The Valk gonna come out as well. A huge shatter could come out. This is a winnable fight for either side at the moment.
Drexel losing a couple players, running out of their ultimates now. Space Created taking that space on the point, back from that group teleport they took to try to eat away at the backline of Drexel. It did work out for them, and now they're back on point, just defending their home.
Yeah, really smart play, to be honest, from Space Created, using that teleporter to approach on the slow backline that Drexel 2 has. You really have to rotate almost bordering on precognition, to be honest, when you're playing Zen against that.
We saw Funjin here get quite the incredible ball boop right onto Zaya there. Not allowed to play the game, that whole map pretty much. Funjin with some excellent timing there right before the slam, sending Zaya back to the respawn room for the 3rd time. Drexel, I think, isn't too far behind here in the mental game. I think that map was very winnable for them, and I'm hoping that they keep their morale high, even though they lost that pretty much 99-0. I think it might have been 99-0.
It was 99-0. Yeah, but a lot of those fights were pretty close. If they managed to focus up and managed to have a little bit more discipline on an individual level, I really think that they could take advantage of some of the players on Space Created. I'm seeing a little bit of, maybe not cockiness, but confidence on the side of Space Created that perhaps could be taken advantage of. And
yeah,
I know that they are more confident, at least on this brawl comp. Rather, Drexel's 2 is a lot more experienced on this brawl comp than they are on that ball comp, so I'm hoping to see a little bit more of a show here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see a little bit better target focus on the side of Space Created. They're getting a little bit overzealous with their positioning, and then you know, I think that if they're able to clean up a little bit quicker, it'll be lights out here on the second map. Drexel tying in the race there, Space Created, getting to this midpoint here, clearing out these turrets. No one's in the kill feed yet. A lot of healing, a lot of abilities getting used very early here. We'll see Iconic try to take a high ground position here against Zaya on this Reinhardt. Meeting him here in the middle.
Yeah, we see Space Created running that classic Junkrat sim comp that we see so often on this control center. Meanwhile, Barry, who just got picked off, running the Cassidy. Not exactly something you really want to see here. The Cassidy does get a whole lot of value when you're running this, and especially when you don't rotate through to main. That Junkrat is going to get a ton of value with the spam. And so, maybe a little bit of compositional error here.
If Drexel can get out here, they will have made a great little move. Backing up in time here, and Tuska got a little bit overzealous there. I mean, he's high energy, but I mean, with high energy comes a high ego as a Symmetra, and unfortunately it came to his death. He was a little bit too far forward. Gario Kid protecting his team, leveling this out after this kill into Tuska with a great Junkrat tire.
Space Created's that map is dead. They need a long fight, Drexel 2, if they're going to win this, but a huge shatter, the perfect opening that Space Created needed to win this fight, and they're going to turn it. Exactly what they needed. Iconic went huge with that shatter.
Yeah, a 2 ultimate team fight win there for Space Created is good news for them. We do see a lot of ultimates coming online here for Drexel. They're going to be able to make some space on Space Created here in this hallway with these ultimates. Keep an eye out for Zaya with this Reinhardt shatter. He wants revenge on Iconic for getting that one on him earlier.
Big wall and a nice shatter coming out from Zaya. That deep bomb not going to get any value because of the sim wall. Very well placed by Nasty. The beat going to come in for aggression, but Nasty going to get picked off by the Junkrat. Another tire from a Gario Kid, and that's just too much for Drexel 2 to handle, and they're going to need to go back and prepare for a final push.
People with eyes beware. That team fight was so many shields and vertical shields and Lucio shields. I mean, hopefully in Overwatch 2 we'll get a little bit of a cleanup in the visual department. I hope you are all wearing your gunners at home for this next team fight, because you'll probably need them.
Simwall going to be coming out on the side.
Wow!
Space Created, but a huge dragon for Barry. Going to get 2 immediately. Drexel 2 just needs to touch the point here. They've all but sealed the deal. Well done. Now Space Created, a nice advantage on the clock, but not necessarily in ultimate department. This is still a very winnable map for Drexel 2.
Come on, Swag. Probably made a bit of a blunder there. Could have just walked back on the high ground with his team, and now his team is down a player. If Drexel can take advantage of that in the next couple of seconds and get a pick, this will be big for them.
There's a nice window coming through. Iconic with no shatter. Not going to be able to take advantage of Zaya's low shield. I'd like to see Drexel 2 rotating wide on the point, and a nice window going to come through and force them into that little choke there. The Hanzo going to get a lot of value here. Hopefully they manage to get a pick soon with that bomb. It's a nice window. There's the bomb coming out. Little unfortunate on the placement there. Don't like to see that, but a nice wall from Nasty is going to help them maintain this point for even longer. And as I say that, Barry with a nice pick onto the enemy team's Baptiste.
5v6, still anyone's game. 1, 2, maybe 3 ultimates coming up here for Space Created. If they can get them while they back up, they might be able to surprise Drexel with a Riptire or an Earth Shatter here. Funjin closing in on that sound barrier so he can get his team through this choke without any worries. Drexel backing up a little bit here, giving them a little bit of space.
A lot of space being granted by the side of Drexel 2, but understandable given the fact that ult economy is so low. Dragon goes off, the huge shatter from Zaya. The response from Iconic, but it's not going to be enough. Drexel 2 managing to take him out.
Wow, I mean, and this is when we get into this mid-fight madness. I mean, everyone is everywhere fighting in their own little pocket here, and it's up to the team who can focus most on who's the important targets who's going to come out in the end. It looks like it's Drexel.
It's Drexel 2, and they've managed to make this a one-fight map.
I mean,
a lot of
these ultimates here.
Yeah. A lot of ultimates on the side of Space Created. It would be a shame if they managed to pop 4 of them and not take this this team fight, but certainly a thing that happens in this game.
Nasty's gonna have to use the Symmetra wall well. Great placement there, dividing this in half, and we've got a perpendicular wall placed from Tuska. Bit of a blunder there on that side, but now, I mean, Ultimate's just flying left and right. A Junkrat tire from Magario Kid will find 2 in the back line of Drexel. This is absolutely horrible news for them.
Yeah, very sloppy. Not a whole lot you can really do to maintain point. You just have to win your individual battles in those scenarios, but the ult economy was certainly in Space Created's favor. Eee, the Dragon getting denied from Barry. Not going to get any value, but this is still a winnable fight for either side. Drexel 2 coming back here. Garfield going to get taken out. No immortality on the side of Drexel 2. Barry going to get taken out. They do still have their main support. It is very winnable. To say that Drexel takes out here. Iconic.
Yeah, it's big for them. I mean, their backline's getting bothered here by Agario Kid on this Doomfist, but Nasty says, no, 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 no. I cannot allow that. Funjin keeping his team alive with this, and then people are just going to step off long enough. I mean, honestly, if they had someone on that point, Drexel, that could have gone either way. That was going to be a long overtime no matter what.
Very unfortunate for the side of Drexel 2. I hate to say it, but Zaya, man, he's probably kicking himself for that one. That's okay. He's got a strong mantle. I know he can bring it back.
Yeah. We've got, I mean, this placement here, Baru with this Dragon Strike. Take a look at this all the way down this hallway. Catching 2 and then following up with a 3rd on the Baptiste. That was basically a team fight win with 1 ultimate, and especially an ultimate that's not known for just clearing players out on its own. Dragon Strike placement's very important, and Baru catching a lot of value out of his placement there.
It was very well done. And yeah, like you said, winning a team fight off of a Dragon alone is a pretty rare sight, so it was nice that we got to see that out of Barry, who I'd like to say comes out to play almost every single one of these scrims here.
Alright, map 3 getting started here. We got Zumi and Phenomenon, both on these Zenyatas. I'd love to see some Zenyatta versus Zenyatta action here to see who's the superior player.
We have a Pharah on the side of Drexel 2 here, but the Echo for the side of Space Created, I hate to say it, but Echo might just be the better pick, simply for the fact that the character is incredible. It allows Funjin to play Brig rather than the Mercy that we need for the Pharah, and Zumi and Garfield are going to get taken out immediately, almost because of that.
I mean, the placement, his positioning, Zumi in the backline towards Drexel's spawn was just too far from his team, and Iconic took advantage of that, moved him further away and slammed him, and sent him right to the respawn room. But now we've got the swap, right? I think that was a good quick swap onto the Brig. We've seen a lot of Brig Mercy, we've seen a lot of Brig Zenyatta. Zumi's making a quick switch. Baru with a quick pick on a Funjin early. This could be big for Drexel.
It's definitely a terrible fight here at this point. They just have to play smart. They have to not feed to these picks. They have to make sure not to go too hard. But as I say that, Garfield's going to be giving away his mech for not a whole lot.
Zaya just in too deep sometimes on the striking ball. I mean, the mobility is great, but I mean, he just went a little bit too far forward there, and Space Created took advantage of that. They saw he was out of position. They used their stun ability cooldowns on him, and now the fight is slowly going in the way of Space Created because they just have a little bit better mid-fight positioning, a little bit better mid-fight shot calling for these targets, and Garfield Pipe forced off the edge for a reset.
You wouldn't think that Brig alone would make Ball's life so much harder, but it really does. Combining that with the fact that they have Echo and Tracer, 2 characters that Ball doesn't get a whole lot of value playing against, and can really hamper his ability to even engage on the rest of the team. It makes it a very difficult job on the Ball.
Yeah, I mean, wow, Baru with the great stick onto Funjin. Might have actually stuck Keegsman swag there, but because he was just so close to him, he managed to take him out. Agario Kid answering back from that first pick with a duplicate from Nasty's Pharah, catching 1 with a very quick barrage. And that'll be another team fight win.
Yeah. Drexel are going to need to strap it on and try to attack this point. They're going to need to recontest in about 10 seconds. We'll see what they manage to do with the ultimates that they have online, that being only a Valkyrie and a bomb eventually.
We'll see Zaya going across here, trying to get on point. Barely gets on in time. Garfield pipes there as well.
Zaya going to get taken out immediately. Few duels need to be won here. The Valk is out. The touching is there. We're going to see if Drexel manages to make anything happy with it. But that rally armor that the Brig gave to her team was very strong. But it gets taken out. Garfield's going to be losing the mech. Zumi getting taken out. Very unfortunate. Barry going to need to do some major pickage here if they're going to win this fight.
Nasty and Barry, the last two to try to get there. Zaya is just not there in time. And I think our lesson from the match right here is, even if we think we're ahead, I think Drexel's gotten ahead in their team fights early a couple times. They've gotten too excited and they've pushed up too quickly. And you know, it'll lead to their death because they're a little bit too far forward and their supports don't have their cooldowns. You have to remember, when you're playing a dive comp, it's very cooldown based, right? You know, Winston's waiting for his jump, Hammond's waiting for his slam. And if you don't wait for your supports cooldowns after a one fight between players and you keep going in, I mean, your supports aren't going to be able to keep you up. And, you know, I think that's just what happened.
Especially when you're running a support comp like Briggs Zen, the heals are not infinite. And you really have to play with a lot of discipline, and even playing with the cooldowns can be difficult sometimes, especially when you're trying to coordinate with like a ball and a tracer. You sort of have to let your other DPS do the work in those scenarios, and Space Created did an excellent job of that, letting the Echo sort of take control, had the upper hand. Iconic was playing very disciplined on the ball, allowing his team to sort of follow up on all the cleave damage that he gets with those sweeps and those slams. And I'm excited to see how they managed to run that on Anubis.
Yeah, we've got a Symmetra here from Nasty. He seems to prefer Symmetra. I mean, it's typical to see it on Lijiang, but to see it on defense on Anubis is something special. Against the dive comp here, I'm not sure how well this is going to do unless these turrets are placed near their supports. They're just going to kind of get blown by.
Certainly not something you see typically as Symmetra on the Anubis second here. Not something I don't think I've seen from Drexel 2 here, but I'm excited again to see how they manage to run it, and especially versus dive. Maybe a tougher matchup than they think.
Slam, 3-man slam from Iconic, getting off the high ground, doing his job of disrupting and then getting out. Setting up for another one here, but Garfield Pipe's going to find Tuska trying to run down mid here as Tracer. Just not enough health on him, I suppose. Good rotate. Look at this Symmetra teleport.
Yeah, really excellent. I really like that Sim teleporter. It helps cut off the rotate. Ideally, you have your supports up there when you're on that attack. That's what the D.Va and those two supports from Space Creator are trying to do, is get them rotated up there and try and get them in a powerful position. But that Symmetra teleporter really hampers that goal. And I'm amazed. I really enjoy that. I like it a lot.
Iconic with a great roll through and slam here, but it didn't find him a kill, but it did find him a respawn room trip. Unfortunately, Space Created, they spent a lot of time on this high ground before losing that fight. I mean, look at the time. We've got less than 3 minutes here, and they've just now barely touched the point.
Over a minute taken just on that rotate, just for them to get picked off immediately because of that really smart Sim teleporter. That ball's going to get taken out. I'm very unfortunate. They just need a hard reset at this point. Space Created, if they're going to want to, you know, eventually build up the ultimates to take this point.
Wow, well, we've got an Echo 1v1 win here from Agario Kid. The backline is a little bit more vulnerable now. Zumi getting peppered down by Tuska on this Tracer, backing off with his team so he can stay safe. But we've got 2 DPS, both high grounds.
This is exactly where you want to be if you're that ball composition from Space Created. A lot of powerful positions are going to be held in. They're going to be forced back into those chokes, and the picks are just going to rain through.
Wow, look
really
at this Mines placement.
Rotates.
Yeah, Iconic with a great Mines placement, forcing a couple players of Drexel to stay inside here while they're just capturing this point. I mean, Funja doing a lot of damage there. Phenomenon with the Transcendence online to protect against this future gravitic flux of Garfield Pipe. I hope he holds on to it until then. It's right now, it's Barry's job to get that out of him. He's going to try to focus him down early if he can find him, force that Transcendence out, and then Garfield Pipe's going to swoop in with the gravitic flux.
Nasty, unfortunately, going to go down immediately. A lot of ults online, though, for both teams. I predict a sloppy fight coming in here. Window coming out, Trance, a D.Va Bomb already coming out in the first 3 seconds of this team fight, really. Pulse Bomb out, a duplicate, Flux, another Trance. So many ultimate abilities used just to try and stave off this Space Created fight. A wall coming out, a rally from Barry's copy. That is a lot of ultimate abilities.
That was so much damage and healing. I feel like I'm watching a King's Row game right now. And then we've got Iconic again, just getting caught out a little bit in the back line, getting blocked, and he's gonna get out. No! Barely get taken out. That's really bad news for Space Created. Another 10+ seconds off the clock to them on the second point.
So close, but so far.
I mean, I like what they're doing though.
Coming up, we've got Zaya's Bongo online soon, and Iconic with the single roll through really can get him that 24% that he needs to get the mines ready. So we're going to be looking at a little bit of a slower play, trying to rotate the supports in through that Shadow Cubby on the Anubis point here. You're going to see the Ball and the Tracer stacked up, trying to make a dive on anybody they can, particularly backline. Zumi here getting pressured heavy.
Barrow will respond with a kill of his own, forced back into spawn to heal up. That's good news for Drexel. They're giving a little bit more hope for this fight here.
A couple being taken out on 2CP is bad news. Garfield going to get taken out. Bongo down as well. But unfortunately, a lot of picks already have occurred on the side of Space Created, so it's going to be a tough fight for them to bring back.
Phenomenon with so much damage. This team fight's up to 6,000. Iconic picking up 2 with a great slam combo with his proximity mines. And with maybe a little bit of help from his team, they'll be able to take point 2 off of that.
Yeah, you hear me complaining about 2CP, but a play like that you see from Iconic is exactly what you need to open up the opportunity to do exactly what they just did. Very impressive take from Space Created.
I would be super upset if I did not highlight Phenomenon's play. Phenomenon, excuse me, I'm trying to make sure I'm saying it right. On this Zenyatta is just putting down so much damage across the field here, and we'll see this last play from Iconic. He's gonna swing in, use those mines, and slam down on a point, and you'll see this point on the left side just gets split in half, and it's just free for Space Created to run in there and take it.
Not a whole lot of sustain in that ball comp, so making a long team fight like that work, needless to say, is pretty atypical, and managing to do it against a double shield comp that Drexel 2 had, very nice. We're going to see Garfield's Sigma play here. Huge flux coming in to try and save the day for his team here on the second point. Very well done.
Yeah, he only gets 1, but that was an important pick. Getting Brig early in that fight means that there's no healing from that Inspire, no overtime healing. You know, definitely one of the reasons why they were able to take point B.
Yeah, managing to use that flux and take that space along with hitting your cooldowns on the tanks and deterring any sort of potential push that they can get really helps seal the deal in that particular fight. I'm seeing a little bit of an atypical double bubble comp from Drexel 2 with the Echo and the Sombra. I like it. And so the win comp for this particular composition here is just sort of the grind the Nano. Don't want to make any hard initiations yet. Just want to get Zarya's charge. Want to try and get an EMP, grind that Nano as fast as we can, and then initiate with those ults that sort of grind a little bit faster than typically what you would find from other compositions.
Yeah, I have to say I'm a big fan of this composition too, but this defensive composition is going to do just as well against it as they're going to do towards it. We've got a lot of defensive characters. We've got the BAP, we've got the Sigma, we've got the Brig here, Orisa, I mean, you name it. A lot of these characters are not going to go down easy to a 1 versus 1 fight. So Drexel's going to have to pick their fights well if they want to do well on this offense.
Yeah, a very odd rotate from Space Created is going to open up a lot of possibilities for this Drexel 2 double bubble comp, as both tanks are going to get taken out immediately. That's 3 down, 4 maybe, from the side of Space Created as they come back from the spawn room, but this fight is already over, and Drexel 2 without any ultimate abilities managing to take the first point. Well, as I say that, a little bit of a primal from Zaya, but we'll chalk that one down to a fat finger.
Yeah, we'll say he switched. He switched on to Winston for second point here with 0%. Keep an eye on Garfield Pipe here. Is getting close to this this Graviton Surge. This is gonna be the big ultimate for this fight. We have Unwritten ready to give Zaya this nano boost here on offense. Iconic with the defensive supercharger. Gonna have to put it around the corner if he doesn't want it to get shot by the backline of Zumi and Unwritten.
Grab is here, but Phenomenon managing to take out Garfield. A lot of damage that came out there, and they're gonna need to wait just a little bit. They need to make sure that they don't get pushed on here as their Garfield walks back from spawn.
That was great poke damage. I mean, that's what you want to do against a composition like Drexel's. You want to do as much damage before the fight begins as you can to put pressure on their healers and get those important cooldowns off. And Nasty, I mean, that's a disaster getting killed that late. Now Drexel's got to wait even longer to get in. Beru almost getting caught out there on that little statue. Tuska putting so much damage downrange. And Agario kid just watching the flanks here, kind of rotating in and out. What are we going to see? What kind of ultimates are we going to see from the defense?
I'm going to see a Nano to initiate as well as an EMP and a grab to really seal this deal. I'm hoping that they save some for the cleanup because everybody knows you can't just win one fight on 2CP. Heading into this right shadow room is a little odd. I'd like to see Zaya sort of jump up from that bottom towards the bridge there and actually initiate. But the EMP going to come in. Hopefully the Nano, there you go, there you see the copy, a Nano, grab. A lot of ults coming out all at once, but this is certainly still a winnable fight for the side of Space Created. A huge flux going to come in, negated by Zumi's trance, but Zaya getting taken out. Too much damage.
That was a 5-man Transcendence from Kiwang Swag there, finding another one on Garfield Pipe here to finish out this fight. That was a huge use of that ultimate, really, I think, sealing the deal for that team fight. Even though Zumi had that Transcendence online, it just stopped everything that they were trying to do for a couple of seconds, and that was just enough time for the supports for Space Created to heal up everyone and go in fresh.
Like I was saying earlier, it's a little unfortunate because now Drexel 2 has no ultimates to sort of initiate. They got to play this a lot slower than they would. The side of Space Created, we've got a copy, but that's about it. Again, well defended by Space Created. They didn't panic. They just let their ultimates do the talking, and talk they did.
Yeah, this team fight's going to be a lot more down to just mechanical skill. Less ultimates mean you have to actually play the game a little bit more. Space Created finding a trade and a resurrect from the symmetric kill that Nasty put onto them. It's a good move from them, and another duplicate. There's that duplicate finding 3 in that gravitic flux. That's big from Space Created. They're going to push up super far here into the choke.
Agario kid, fantastic duplicate. Really smart play. You don't see a ton of Echo players having an intelligent tank brain as well, but having the realization that you can just sit up on that high ground of Sigma after you flux, getting that off-angle damage and just poking people apart, dropping down with the rock. Really smart Sigma play from Agario on Echo.
Yeah, I have to agree. That's the the tell of good game sense when you know, even when you're switching characters that quickly, that you can make smart decisions like that. Here we go, Space Created on the defense here. They're now down below Drexel's defense time, doing better. Spread out a little bit here. I don't know if this is what they want to do against the composition that Drexel has, but we'll see how it goes down.
Really not. I'd like to see Drexel hopping over that choke and just sort of taking that right side, splitting the team. But we're seeing a lot more slow play here, maybe trying to grind a few ultimates out, but it's going to work both ways. You're both playing double shield. You need to make something happen here. As I say that, the window gonna come out. Feminon managing to grind it out. Got a Valk and a Bob on the way as well, if nothing else. A lot of ultimates on the side of Drexel as well. We're gonna see if they choose to initiate here while they're down a little bit of resources. Huge EMP gonna come out. A Flux, a Dragon. A lot of ultimates.
Wow, Tuska survives!
Well, Tuska
wow!
living.
He's still alive! Oh, Bear finally taking him out. I mean, every ultimate in the book got thrown at that Ashe, and absolutely nothing in the kill feed for it. Space Created just great use of their abilities, keeping their Ashe alive for long enough. But now, I mean, look at the kill feed here. Space Created slowly coming back in this fight from a shaky start, and now, we're now below a minute here on point B of Anubis.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see a little bit smarter of a rotate here, and maybe a little bit less of the staggering from Drexel 2 if we're gonna see them manage to take this point. But this will be their last fight. We've got a window online. We've got Zaya's Bongo, and nothing on the side of Space Created. So if they manage to make this work, now would be the time.
Drexel here on basically their last push. Unless they get a swap to some faster characters, they're going to need a quick fight here and then a swap later. Drexel coming up with a few ultimates. Here comes Unwritten's Amplification Matrix. Zaya and Garfield Pipe trying to make use of this, but not a lot of extra damage is getting thrown out. A missed accretion there. This is not looking great for Drexel so far, but Zaya says, we're going to get the first pick here. Funjin getting a Resurrect on a Tuska. This is an even match for anyone's point B here. Drexel getting half of the point already. Zumi and Barrow getting 2 picks, but again, respawns are going to come in very quickly. They're going to have to hurry up with this.
So they did get taken out here. They need to win this fight now if they're going to. The ball going to be coming back. Very hard to kill, but not going to manage to get on point.
Wow, he was incredibly close. Iconic just barely not on the point for that last contest. I mean, that was a crazy Anubis. We saw like a decent defense put down by Drexel. Space Created put an even better one down. And I mean, especially with this Ashe here from Tuska. I mean, look at all these abilities getting thrown. The Dragons, the Flux getting hacked, now getting shot even more, knocking back 3, and then getting taken out from above from a player in that Gravitic Flux.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that was about as much as Tuska could do. I mean, getting all those cooldowns and resources thrown into him, managing to still, after all of it, get the Bob out. It's pretty impressive. We're going to see that Sigma copy inside of a Gario Kid here that we were talking about earlier. Again, it's nice ability usage here, trying to manage to grind out damage, get the Flux in, avoiding the rock, and placing himself on the high ground. This is what I was talking about. Smart tank play here.
Coming down from above with that accretion. Yeah, really smart play from a Gario Kid. Sticking to this Echo most of this game so far. It's proven to be successful for a Space Created. Now they're on attack on Blizzard World. This is definitely an Echo map here. We've got a lot of places where Echo can hide on different high grounds after using that fly ability that she has.
I had one tip for Drexel, as they seem to be on the receiving end of the pounding as of these last 2 maps. I'd tell them to use their ultimates better. I've seen 4, 5, even 6 ults just from them in certain team fights, and they still end up losing some of them. And they need to have a little bit more restraint, a little more discipline, to not just toss them out when they think the timing is right. A little more of that sense of team play. Maybe calling beforehand what you're going to be using to start off the fight, so that not everybody feels the need to try and shift it when the flow seems to be going against them.
Yeah, it's important to, I think the biggest thing they could do right now, and the easiest thing they could do, is announce when they're using them. I can tell that there's a bit of a lack of communication with their ultimate usage because of the lack of follow-up from those ultimates. So if we have, some more communication between players that have ultimates and when they're about to use them, I think we'll see a more successful defense here.
Likely going to be seeing the double shield coming out here from the side of Drexel 2. We're going to be seeing that ball comp again, most likely from the side of Space Created. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Gario Kid's playing very well in the Echo. Iconic, doing a lot of things on ball, doing exactly what you like to see out of a ball, especially on a comp when you're running that Brig Zen. It's really, again, I keep using the word impressive, but I am genuinely impressed. Generally, Drexel 2 likes to scrim around the 3K level, and seeing this play around that level to me is, it's honestly impressive. They're doing really, really well. They're going to go places if they continue to play like this.
A dive composition from Space Created here. Iconic and Tuska on this high ground trying to find a space. Tuska really far behind here, a good flank, but against the Torbjorn is going to be a little difficult. This turret from Nasty is going to have to do a lot of work to protect the backline. Zumi and Unwritten are basically helpless without it.
Trying to play ball and Tracer against a Brig Torb can be a little bit of a pain, which might be why they decided to opt for it, but Femenon, really nice pick onto Unwritten, and Bear going to get taken out as well. This fight already looking chalked for Drexel 2, but not a whole lot of point progress. They might be able to regroup and recontest if they manage to stop dying here. Garfield managed to take out Tuska on the way, but it doesn't look like much is going to come from it. They might just have to regroup and try to get a nice hold on this second point of Blizzard World.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move for them with this composition, but I think their execution was not great. I think they got too distracted by Iconic. They turned around and they put their backs to, the Zenyatta on Space Created, and that's where the damage is going to come in. We've seen them do so much damage in this last map with Zenyatta. You have to know that it's coming, and Drexel's got to adapt to that.
We don't have a whole lot of ultimates ready yet. We do have a Valve for the initiation. We've got a Pulse Bomb on the way, and Femenon with the Transcendence. Barry immediately with a nice pick onto a Vario Kid and Funjin getting taken out really quickly after that. Drexel might be able to take a little bit of an aggressive position here, try to take the cart and ensure that no further progress is made.
Yeah, they're going to stop it there right before it comes around this corner. I mean, with how they're playing on this high ground, they really just want to win fights from this high ground and not have to go down to the cart. So this is going to be an issue for them if Space Created can get this cart under and past this high ground. It's going to be an issue for Drexel because of their composition. It's difficult to drop, right? If you drop your Orisa down, now you don't have a shield up top. If you drop your Sigma down, which I think is your best option, you're losing a tank from up top, you're losing a stun. So they have to make a hard decision here to decide who is going to go touch the point when it comes underneath.
Right, you do lose a little bit of the stability when you drop your Sigma, but I agree with you when you say it's the best option. You just got a lot of utility to help self-sustain, and the Orisa really helps form a home base up top there that allows the rest of the team to get more value.
Wow! What a great slam there from Iconic. Coming up, getting a bunch of players and slamming down. We saw excellent staging from Space Created.
Really,
I
really
think
textbook ball play there.
Yeah. I mean, the staging from Space Created was so great. You know, not a lot of damage was sent onto any character before they were able to take a position around. They had a player on every position on the clock around Drexel there before that team fight even began. So, great work from them on that.
Barry opting for a soldier here. I'm not sure if that was swapped in this fight or not. Nasty taking out Feminine. No Transcendence now for Space Created. Gonna get res, getting exactly what I just said. Nasty taking out the copy immediately. A lot of ultimates being pressed here. Barry gonna be the only one who can contest that card. It's about to be capped and gonna get taken out. Nasty trying to make his contest, and it's a huge mine.
Ooh, it's 3!
Wow.
Nasty with 3 with a concussion mine. 2 with 1, 1 with the other. I mean, that was so much damage on cart. I mean, they were so grouped closely together, and they were just at the right HP to make that dream come true. And Nasty, now already almost halfway to another Junkrat tire.
If there's anybody who knows how much I love and adore Junkrat, it's Connor. Watching plays like that really just strengthens my love for such an incredible character that I hope is still in Overwatch 2 and not deleted entirely.
You know, if you said stuff like that, I would have assumed you were a Reinhardt main or some big target, but no. It runs deep. Drexel forced to back up here.
Nice, yeah. Feminine, very well done. The Immortality already gone. They're gonna take it out. Unwritten, gone. Garfield gonna be the last line of defense to try and keep this card alive, and it's not gonna happen. Space Created really playing well with this comp.
Yeah, Unwritten just getting deleted. A Gario Kid with a damage boosted set of sticky bombs from Echo. I believe didn't miss a single bomb on one of those volleys. Sending him and almost Nasty to the respawn room. Nasty with probably 5 health at the end of that. And Barry's able to get out with help from his tanks. Barry was in an incredibly bad position there and just managed to get a little bit of help from his friends and get out.
Flux gonna come out from Garfield Pipe, going to manage to get the Diva. That wasn't entirely necessary, but Nasty with a nice pick on Feminine. Diva gone. Key players in this composition gone. Space Created just gonna need to
Barry
come back together. Barry still living on the edge of his
survival master out here is put in the face of death and just runs in a circle real quick, and death can't do anything about it. Iconic unable to take him down there.
Death's tracking is not what it used to be.
That's got to get on Aim Trainer.
Yeah, he's got to hit Kovacs. A lot of ults on the side of Space Created. Probably going to help them initiate on this fight. But third point is a little bit harder. It's a lot harder to approach with this ball comp, take less damage, so we'll be seeing a little bit of that. Pulse Bomb going to be whiffed on the side of Tuska. Funjin going to get taken out at the same time as Zaya and Nasty on that Junkrat. Very, very fun hero. Oh, gotta get rocked, and a huge bomb from Keegsmon Swag. Going to be wrapping this one up and forcing Drexel 2 into a little bit of a recontest scenario.
No one is on cart here. Drexel's not forced to switch to fast characters right now. They can keep their ultimate charge, and I hope they see that, and they do. Zumi with this rally is going to be big. You can pop it right now. Pop it right now when we're walking out. Get this team healthy quickly. There it is.
There it is. Well called and well done by Zumi. This is going to be a very tough fight for Space Created to pull back. Those mines are going to help.
Wow.
Living barely, but the mines, Zumi gets taken out. Soldier visor from Barry. Hopefully
the master of survival, Barry, in the corner here.
There it is. The nano visor managed to do it.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that was an incredibly messy fight. We saw an incredible sleep dart from Unwritten on Iconic right before the slam came down after the mines. It's probably honestly saved his life and some of his teammates' life because they didn't get knocked up by that slam and they were able to keep their air control for longer, getting them out of the range of those mines. Great play from Unwritten there.
Yeah, it really was excellent. The mines there would have been killer if they managed to land on more than just one. But again, as I said, a really nice sleep dart came in and saved the day for Drexel too. But with only mines on their side now, we're going to see what they managed to do on this defense.
It's kind of breaking out in a couple places here. Zaya barely getting out from an aggressive push here on this ball. Agario Kid showing skill on Echo with these sticky bombs. Are just ripping through Drexel right now. Not much that they can do.
Picks. This is very difficult for Drexel to pull back. They just need to go into that stall scenario. A nice prep going to come out, but the Transcendence also out. It's going to be very difficult against two Divas for any damage to even come through. Just need a little bit of stall here. Barry managed to take out Fungin and a duplicate, but both of them going to die on the cart from that Diva bomb.
Wow.
Not a whole lot you can do about that one.
You remember how earlier I mentioned that this would be a good Echo map for Agario Kid?
I do.
I think it was a good Echo map for Agario Kid. I'm gonna stick with that. That was, I mean, despite it being overtime, we saw a lot of just DPS dominance from the sky from Agario Kid. Maybe his team not picking up the slack that they should, but I mean, this Sig copy here, I think this is on third point. Take a look at this accretion here. We're gonna get this Junkrat up in the air and mid-air air shot him with that. I mean, and now we're gonna drop down on the back line of Drexel, and with some help from Iconic, nothing that Zumi can do here.
And again, if you told me Agario Kid was a tank player, I might be inclined to believe you. He's playing really well every single time he duplicates. Maybe he just plays Echo so much that he's sort of a tank player by proxy.
Right.
I don't know, but it's really good stuff. The only flaw in that particular fight was the lack of people on cart.
Yeah, well, I mean, we haven't seen much from Drexel in terms of kryptonite of this Echo. They've tried a couple things now. They've tried the Sombra. They've tried a couple other things, but it just hasn't worked. And here we go again with this last Diva bomb just to close it out from Agario Kid.
Again, Diva's a really nice copy. You get the extra stack of defense matrix, you get a bomb, you get a potential remech. It's just it's so much to have to try and deal with if you're Drexel 2.
Yeah.
There's a reason that Echo may be one of the highest played DPS up at the upper echelon of ranked, and especially in a competitive community. People who scrim in the collegiate space, you know, Echo is super popular, and there's a reason for it. You know, he's a pretty good character.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting a bit of a lesson here today, or at least Drexel is, on the power of Echo. We've seen a little bit of Echo from them, but they're deciding to play more ground-based characters. We've seen a lot of Ashe, a lot of Tracer, a lot of Junkrat, right? From Nasty. I mean, and Nasty did a great job last game of getting some crucial picks. I mean, we saw a lot of Riptires from Nasty, pretty much entirely.
What are those two guys doing there?
Hey,
just flying around?
Where are they going? Does anyone ever know where they're going?
What's their purpose?
Wait, maybe
if I were coaching Drexel 2, I might encourage them to play Tracer and then a hit scan like Agario on Ashe. Playing against that as Echo is very difficult because with a hit scan, Echo has to play a little bit more subdued, play back a little bit, you know, use the architecture to your advantage to try and get a jump on that, and then Tracer with the follow-up if the Echo is playing on the ground. You know, a lot of value can come from that if you're struggling against an Echo, but a lot of out-of-position picks happening here, and they're going to force Drexel 2 to back up and have to try and regroup here very quickly.
Zaya had a great move there early, going on a point, forcing some players off to try to come contest, but I mean, honestly, Space created with a big blunder there. It didn't mean much for them as they did get out of the fight unscathed, but both of their supports backed up very far, and if Drexel had taken advantage of that and dove that high ground really quickly, that would have been lights out for this first point. Let's see if they can do it again. Maybe they can try to bait them over to the point.
Be very smart for them. Barry from behind trying to contest that point, trying to make some people pull back, like you said before. Nasty going to get orb. Very nice Phenomenon. Well played and iconic, looping the people off the high ground. It's going to be very hard for Drexel to approach now. We need to start staging up top again and try and prevent Space Creative from taking it.
Yeah, I mean, that's their job right now. They might be down a player, but they might still be able to keep this high ground under their own control. They've got all 6 players are back now. We've got Keegmon Swag on Sigma now? Did he switch? I'm not quite sure, but approaching a Bob here, Agario Kid on this Ashe on the high ground. This is gonna be it's super hard as a dive to go against a Bob. I mean, because he just doesn't miss. You only have that defense matrix to deal with the damage. You don't even have a sleep dart. You might have a stun, but that's, you know, only gonna prevent a little bit of damage. Here we go.
We got a few ultimates online here, and Zay with a nice slam. Not in the preferred place of initiation, but mines both of them going off at once.
Wow, Zay is just pulling the trigger a little bit quicker, and those proximity mines killing, excuse me, Iconics. I forgot the name of the other tank for a moment there. Drexel actually slowly winning this fight after a lot of ultimates popped at the very same time. Keegmon Swag taking Barry with him, but I mean, it's a fast character, right? Tracer will get back quick even if he gets back spawn. It looks like Barry will not. It's good.
Nice couple orbs there from Keegmon Swag. We've got a few ultimates online for both sides here. That EMP could be quite nasty if hit on that Zen with the France and they don't manage to pull it out. That could be essentially an instant team fight win. We're gonna see if that actually comes to fruition here.
I like this switch off this Sigma from Keegmon Swag. I think it's good to get on this D.Va, be more of a protective tank, right? Sigma only can protect every 12 or 8 seconds. That shield not doing a lot against these dive characters, so I do like this switch on the D.Va. I hope that'll get value out of it.
Nice eat from Carfield. Knowing exactly what Tusk is up to and ensuring that the team fight doesn't end before it even starts. We need to see that EMP coming out soon. We really need to see the initiation happening. They're just taking a lot of unnecessary poke damage out here. The bomb coming through. Potentially an EMP. Not quite yet. But Garfield getting taken out.
May have used that bomb a little bit prematurely because now, you know, they were just able to back up and now they don't have it for this EMP combo. Catching a couple with this EMP, but the rally from Poonjin just keeping his team up. Phenomenon getting taken down by Nasty in their backline might be bad news for Space Creative.
Yeah, losing 150 HP there is detrimental. The Rally tried, but even Rally can't save a poor Zen from getting EMP'd. Certainly a winnable fight for either side, though, as we say that. A lot of ultimates on the line for Drexel, too, if they need to try and pull this one back, but it doesn't look like they're going to go for it. It looks like they just need to pull back and regroup for another team fight.
Yeah, we saw Bob there. Pretty long range Bob usage from Agario Kid. I think it was a great example of a good defensive ultimate use of that. And sometimes players like to use it a little too offensively, and it won't turn out for them. The team fight will go after it happens, and now their team's left without it. I think a late team fight use of that was very beneficial. Drexel now pushing up with that knowledge that they do not have Bob. We see a couple ultimates on each side here. Drexel trying to take the high ground here from Space Created. They're going to do it. Here comes the tanks. Bit of a soft dive. Not going to take too much space yet.
Nice pulse from Tuska, and he managed to take out Unwritten as well. That's the entire backline from Drexel 2 gone, and Garfield going to reset. Zendaya doing the same, trying to get out, and just need to pack up and try again.
Yeah. Wow, Nasty getting Tusk. I mean, honestly, not sure how much that will actually mean, but a bit of a spawn camp. Tuska chasing from that spawn camp, and Drexel pushing up really spread out here. They might die early here if they're not careful.
The mind spot from
Feminon.
Zaya, but again, I'm not sure how influential they are. They seem to go super aggressive on this pick, but Barry in the backline manages to catch Feminon immediately. Not going to have that Transcendence, and Agario going to take it out with Nasty. It's looking harder and harder for space created. That pick may have been a little more influential than either of us had thought previously.
Iconic catching Zumi out is big. Zumi was approaching his Transcendence. He might have had it if this fight went on longer, and now that space created is grouped up with this rally. I don't see Drexel winning this fight.
I would be amazed. The EMP coming out on cart, but unfortunately, Nasty is just alone. No follow-up available for it. Not something you like to see.
Nasty really wanted blood from Feminon, oil, should I say, on that Zenyatta, and not killing the 25 health Zenyatta in front of you, actually getting killed by him. A little embarrassing, but we go again.
Yeah, Nasty asking us to cut the VoD. I don't know how possible that is. I might have to agree with him there. I'm gonna ask the production wipe this entire VoD from existence, cut the stream, just end it now.
I'm getting news from our production staff that we cannot cut the VoD, unfortunately, but you know who else wants to cut the VoD? Probably the rest of Drexel. That team fight went so quickly once those mines came down from Iconic, and now it's just dancing on the cart for space created.
Really well executed in that final fight there. They knew exactly what the win condition for Drexel 2 was, and it countered it perfectly. Those mines were huge. The Transcendence came through. There's no EMP now for them to even attempt to try and get a fast team wipe. They just need a slightly longer fight, and it couldn't even come through a little bit for Drexel 2.
Yeah, we saw, I mean, Iconic. Here we go.
Yeah, these really helped seal the deal. Space created.
Yeah, some excellent ball play. I mean, like, shout out to Iconic so far. Kind of, you know, MTDing on the ball here, being the difference for the team. Great slams, great angles on these grapples. Really showing some of the power of this character, especially at, you know, a diamond-ish level scrimming. We're seeing some great wrecking ball play at this level, so I'm very impressed.
I'm getting a little bit of a hot news take from myself looking at Iconic's profile. He is in fact a diamond player, which keep playing like that in ranked, and you will see great things. I promise you. The ball play is incredible. Maybe some responsible stackage with a few players that you can trust will lead you to some nice SR gains in the future.
All right, switching gears here on a Dorado. One of my favorite maps. I'm gonna definitely be cursing some players with some caster cursing on this map. I'm feeling I have a lot of power right now, and I'm gonna see. Let's see. It's gonna be Funjin. Funjin's not gonna have a good game on Dorado. Calling it right now.
Terrible game, gonna get rolled.
Yeah. No, I'm just
I will
kidding.
say,
I don't actually mean that, Funjin, please.
Typically, you see a monkey actually sometimes from either side. Aside from instead of the ball, Iconic still opting for the ball here, which I tend to agree on. The offense is a better pick. See a lot of teams running either a double bubble or just a true monkey dive defense. Sometimes on this map, it's very difficult to do any sort of damage when you're on this first choke here, and Monkey really thrives off of that. But Ball really can just do it all. But we're gonna see Drexel 2 opting for a little bit of a double shield, maybe a Orisa Diva sort of strategy here. I like the Zoomy Brig. I think it's a smart decision here. And we're gonna see Nasty on the Symmetra again. Which, again, I'm excited for. I like watching fun sim plays.
Yeah, keep an eye, those of you at home, on Nasty, excuse me, Unwritten and Zoomy this game. They're going to have their work cut out for them against this dive composition. Unwritten's usage of that immortality field is going to be crucial for the survival of Drexel. I mean, Zoomy's job also just to keep Iconic away. He's got two abilities, right, to keep that ball away. Got the whip shot and the shield bash. He's gonna have to use both of those to try to deny those ultimate charge getting dives from Iconic.
a little bit of the poke now. We just need to push that cart a little bit around the corner, maybe into that choke there, and then we can actually see a little bit of that dive actually come to town.
Wow, great setup here so far.
Ooh, almost getting taken out, but Iconic in the middle of nowhere, taking a lot of damage before finally getting out. Yeah, like I said, just need to push that card a little bit before you actually end up committing to that dive. Otherwise, your positioning can get the best of you and sort of get collapsed on by any composition, let alone something like Orisa D.Va, which is relatively common.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a team fight win essentially without even taking a person. Drexel forced back because of the staging of space created. That's right, just because of the staging they were forced back. And now we're going to see a bit of a dive push up here. They're not committing very hard to a dive, they're just soft committing, taking space, and Drexel's kind of giving it to them. Honestly, I think they need to put their foot down if they want to defend first point here, and it looks like they're starting to do that.
Nasty may be a little bit nervous with that positioning there, but Keep on Swag getting a little too overzealous, getting picked off. But as I said, Iconic Swag with a huge slam, nice sweeping wall coming out from Nasty, but it might not be enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that was actually what Drexel wanted right now. I think them having that Symmetra wall is pretty impressive, as it's pretty early here, but not sure that that's going to help them that much. Beru coming back, cleaning up this fight after Nasty stayed alive long enough on this cart to buy Drexel another chance on point one.
A little bit of an underestimation of that Sim Beam damage, managing to get two before getting taken out, and Barry just able to, you know, essentially hit the Kovacs, you know, clean up very quickly. Team fight. We've got another one. Garfield, another pulse bomb eat. Yeah. Really well done.
I mean,
window gonna be coming out from Unwritten.
Garfield is just all over these pulse bombs tonight. Really impressive so far. Keep it up. That's like super good game sense. Paying attention to when that Tracer is going to have pulse bomb and how they're playing maybe differently now that they have pulse bomb and getting ready to protect their team. Haven't seen many pulse bomb kills.
Huge fan of Garfield's D.Va.
Yeah. I honestly like it. I mean, Humongous plays with the Sigma as well, sometimes with Gravitic Flux, finding 4 players on the side of space created, but the D.Va's just able to do more right now. I think it's a better pick.
Yeah, D.Va is in a fantastic state if you play her a lot. That is, she's really strong tank, being able to deny a lot of the pressure that a lot of the strong DPS characters sort of do. You know, the Echoes, the Tracers. We're seeing Tuska's Tracer getting shut down here, and it's a lot of it is because of that D.Va.
60 seconds remaining.
Iconic setting up in the back here for a dive, gonna swing in super high and Mind Slam. Nasty might be caught out here and might die. Staying still in the middle of the mines and surviving.
A little dangerous on the side of Nasty, but unfortunately Zay is going to be the one to sort of die for Nasty's sins. Taken out by the Zen there. This is still a super winnable fight for Drexel too. They do have a window if they feel like they need it. The Res going to be coming back from Feminana. The Trance immediately after the Res going to come out. Might have opted to use that window a little bit earlier, but still definitely a recontestable point for Drexel too.
These kills are just not coming in for Drexel right now. They need to get these kills right now, or they're going to start losing. Respawns are
out. Don't know how much they're going to do. We'll see.
7v6 for a little bit here. Barry finding 2 with the fire from that Zumi getting taken out. Tuska finally finding value with that pulse bomb. Garfield pipe must have been distracted during those couple seconds, and now we've only got the tanks and a Tracer left on point here.
Good stuff. That, ironically, the D.Va putting in a lot of work to try and deter not just the Tracer, but honestly, deterring the entire push. D.Va is a very strong character at deterring any type of dive. Monkey in particular is in a pretty terrible state because Monkey helps to just mitigate every single ounce of it, and here we'll see a little bit of a Symmetra play here.
Yeah,
pulse spot, or pulse, the laser, too strong.
Yeah, this is when we did see. I mean, did I say Funjin wouldn't have fun? That didn't look like fun. I mean, like getting a little bit of extra charge on the Symmetra photon beam from those mines. A little smart play there, a little bit of a crafty play there. Yeah, we have a
Ash gameplay here.
Yeah, this was a dynamite of the year nominee here.
Very nice. Through that window even. Bam, there it is.
Wow.
Yeah, very powerful
So
explosion.
much.
Nice burn.
In fact,
Yeah.
I mean, just dying almost on the burn itself there because of that amplification matrix that he threw it through. I mean, like I said right before this started, it was on the supports, right? It was on Drexel's supports to try to keep them alive because there's just so much coming at them left and right and center, and they did it. They successfully did it.
By the way, I said please nerf Simbeam earlier. I didn't actually mean that. That was a sarcastic comment. Reddit, please don't flame me.
That's too late. I can feel it. That's too late. Someone's on competitive Overwatch typing out a title right now. They don't even have a flare. They're gonna get. You're gonna be ruined.
Yes. Somebody on
Yep.
Overwatch University gonna rail me soon.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So
See that echo again from Agario Kid. We're gonna see a little more traditional monkey dive from the side of Drexel 2, which I enjoy. I like seeing monkey. Unfortunately, not played too much anymore. But we're gonna see how it works out here.
yeah, that shield placement from Zaya just not exactly what he wanted. Not keeping them up there. They want to get on these high grounds. It's really important for Drexel if they want to win this. They have to get these high grounds from Space Created. It's Zaya getting very low with a Discord orb on him. Will survive from help of Garfield Pipe with that defense matrix.
The break
No
gonna help
kills.
keep Iconic off of Liana here. The high ground very difficult to take inside of Drexel 2, mostly because of the heroes that can all essentially just move to a separate high ground. But the nano boost already online for Unwritten here. With Nasty down, they might not want to opt to use it yet, but this next team fight, the minute mark, going to manage to have it engage with that nano boost, and that's where you really want to see some value come out.
I was having a flashback to watching Goats. There was so much damage and healing going out and no kills in the kill feed for so long there. Iconic finding the first one on Nasty was just a little bit out of position and a little bit too low. Iconic using that wrecking ball brain to decide that that's the dive target, and it worked out.
You know, I was just lucky enough to avoid having to play through Ghosts. Unfortunately, Barry going to get taken out there by the Echo. A lot of damage. Just need a little bit of a reset. Just a soft reset. Don't let them take any more positioning. And Iconic going to feed a little bit too hard there. Nasty taking him out. A bomb coming out from King's on Swag. Not going to get any value. But Zaya going to go down because Echo was the character that Blizzard put in the game intentionally.
Bludgeon with the big res. I mean, now we've got 6 players. I mean, Mercy on defense is very important, right? That resurrect ability. If you win a fight but you're down a player, you can resurrect them back, and Mercy getting all the value that they wished Mercy would so far. Funjin having
that
some
nano
fun.
engage, huge.
Yeah.
Nano engage, exactly what they needed. Ash, Feminon, going to go down immediately. The copy going to come out from Agario Kid. Let's see if it gets any value here.
This could be bad news for Drexel.
Side of Drexel too. Very, very losable fight.
Here comes the self-destruct over the top. Looks like they're able to get out of the way. It was a little bit in that choke, and now Drexel getting some payback for what Agario Kid's been doing to them.
Man, very always makes me nervous watching watching the excursions, as he likes to call them. That was definitely tight. A Trance going to come in on the side of Feminon, going to stand to that choke. Iconic going to stagger the point. Unwritten going to get taken out by the Bob. Zumi going to take a lot of damage, getting spaced away here, and going to get picked by Iconic. Very difficult team fight now for Drexel 2 to win.
Wow, Drexel still committing some ultimates here. Baru with the self-destruct. Might be able to get something going here. Here comes Zaya, and they might be able to take this.
Huge.
Iconic, the lone member, and now, you know, assuming we're playing in a tournament, that's the map win there for Drexel. Bit of a comeback on that last fight. I would have probably gotten out, but they decided to stay in. It worked out for them.
I will say the second point here might favor Space Created's team comp a little bit harder with that long-range Ash, the ball play. But as I say that, Tusk going to get taken out from those Echo Beams. Nasty going to get traded for it, and the res going to come through. Space Created a little bit of an advantage here. Barry trying to get any value with that beam. Not going to happen, and Iconic's Mind's on the point, going to make it really difficult for Drexel 2 to help their monkey.
Yeah, a bit of a drive-by proximity mines from Iconic. He wasn't looking for any kills, but what he was looking for is just to disrupt the backline of Drexel so his team can take out the people on the high ground and not worry about them getting healed. Gario Kid with that duplicate on the Diva, like I mean, we've seen so many times tonight, finding a lot of value in that character.
Yeah, it's a character. I'll be honest. The character is very good in the state that she's in now, but it does take a modicum of skill to use. Unlike my favorite character, Junkrat. I can respect Echo players. They have a lot of game sense. Ooh,
Iconic with a flank here.
Zaya, very nice. Iconic is on the flank, but Zaya reigning in the back line of Iconic right now. That Nano and the Primal together. Not going to manage to get any picks yet. The Res is out, so they pulled out that resource. Bomb not going to get anything on the side of Keyvon Swag. Let's see what happens here. It's a bit of a sloppy fight, and Zaya getting taken out immediately. It's so much damage from the side of Space Created.
Yeah. I mean, Unwritten, I have to give some props. What? Nasty! Not again! No!
No!
That's the second time tonight we've seen the cut the VoD request come through. Nasty just switching back over, is too embarrassed to stay on the Junkrat, doesn't want anyone to know. Like, hey, where'd that voice line come from? Who was on the Junkrat? I guess it was nobody, so...
he was just swapping, that's it.
He was just switching.
Sombra. Yeah. I agree, I like the Sombra here. I think it's pretty powerful. Unfortunately, the team is getting wiped in the back line. Not a whole lot you can really do about that. Iconic really just a terror on this ball.
60 seconds.
Another caught the VoD request from Zumi there. I don't, we might just have to get rid of it, I don't know. This VoD is... We're gonna need to cut so much of it.
Yeah, I'd be, you know, we'd be more lucky to find this VoD than we would the Star Wars Holiday Special after tonight. Unwritten with another nano boost on the Zaya has been. Gotta give a lot of credit to Unwritten on the side of Drexel. Is getting so much ult charge on this Ana. I believe it was 2 nanos in 3 fights, which is very good. One on the first fight.
The nanos are certainly coming fast, mostly based on the fact that so much damage is able to come through from Space Created. Agario Kid maybe getting a little overzealous with that duplicate there. Trying to get some value on the Ashe inside of Drexel 2, and it's not going to happen. Garfield with a nice bomb going to remove some people off the high ground very shortly. Diva's still up there. Iconic in the back line, not going to get any value, but Agario Kid managed to pick up Garfield Pipe, and Tuska cleaning up with that Bob and a nice shot on the Zaya.
Wow. That was a
very
great match
nice Ashe.
Tuska. Yeah. Tuska, I mean, Drexel, let's give it up for Drexel, right? They did take the map, but that second point defense, I mean, Tuska on the Ashe on that high ground, like you said, they did get that advantage with those characters. And, wow, very quickly running it back onto King's Row.
El Clasico.
Yeah. Are we going to see Echo on this map, Rick?
Well, it's not unheard of. In fact, watching a lot of the collegiate level, not a whole lot of Ryan is even played on this anymore.
Yeah.
See a little bit of the Echo play here, a little bit of a feedage happening, a little short little burst, just a little amuse-bouche of Echo's power in this game right now.
Yeah, we might not see a Reinhardt on both sides. That would be interesting. We've got a Doomfist Reinhardt Diva so far from Space Created. I like it. I like the Doomfist to try to bully the Reinhardt. I mean, he does have that new passive, Steadfast. You know, less knockback on the side of Reinhardt.
It definitely makes it a little bit harder when you're playing a character trying to bully Ryan with that Steadfast passive. But to be honest, if you're playing a composition that abuses it, it doesn't really matter all that much. When playing sort of like the ball Echo again, if you're trying to mirror, that's hard. The mid-wall, walling off Zaya, not my favorite thing I've ever seen in the world. Nasty might ask to cut the VoD again on that one, but burying the backline just to get Tuska before getting taken out. Garfield getting a Agario Kid. This is a recontestable fight for Drexel too.
This is definitely not lost here for Space Created. They're pushing up pretty far, but Drexel has some respawns coming in. They're going to be up 1 player.
A little bit of a Diva feed here, going to get taken out. Looks that Imwar is gone, but not quite fast enough. There goes Geekmon Swag, and no Diva on the side of Space Created is going to make this very difficult. As I say that, Agario Kid managed to take Zumi and Tuska with Zaya. Barry in the backline trying his hardest try and keep this alive. Nice shatter getting blocked by Garfield Pipe's bubble, but not enough to help save Unwritten. So Garfield, they need to run with his little rabbit tail between his legs. Not gonna happen.
I mean, the first time tonight we're going to be seeing a Reinhardt from both sides, except for Li Zhong Tower, right? Very different kind of play style with King of the Hill than we're going to be seeing tonight on King's Row. Iconic using that Earth Shatter late just to try to secure that team fight. He saw that there was a chance that Space Created could come back if their team just, was too slow with these kills, and he decided to commit and invest in that Earth Shatter, and it worked out for him.
Yeah, I agree with it. I think it was a smart move. Nasty trying to help keep Zay alive, putting that wall down, making sure that no more pushing from Space Created going to go through the window. Down to Barry in the back line. A little overzealous, going to get punched in the Shatter, not going to get much. Immor is out. Nasty, once again, walling off Zaya. No help there. Doomfist ult from Agario Kid. Gotta come through. Another cut VoD request. Oh, man.
Wow, this is just the... I'm gonna call this comp from Space Created as Bully Reinhardt, because all of their characters, right? We've got the Lucio Boop, we've got the the Cassidy Flashbang, we've got the Doomfist. Every ability that the Doomfist has is just built for crowd control, and Zaya just not having a good time.
This is a reason why a lot of people don't even opt to play Ryan anymore on King's Row, which is a little sad. You like to see the classic sort of Ryan Zarya that we're seeing from Drexel 2 here, but he just gets bullied like we're seeing. And Agario Kid maybe on this flank here get a lot of value with this slam coming in. Punch out, not going to get much. The freeze out from Nasty, the high noon from Tuska. Going to not do much other than help break a Rhine shield. Nasty going to get caught by Agario Kid. Oh!
I do kind of like that. Wow. I mean, so many ultimates coming back so forth. Keekman Swag's going to save his team from that Death Blossom there with the defense matrix, and now Drexel just still getting pushed back here by Space Created.
Yeah, a lot of nice ults, honestly, from both sides. The grab I enjoyed, but the slam from Iconic just stalled them for just long enough to where it made Space Created's job a lot easier in cleaning up Drexel 2.
It seems like Space Created are really in their own stride right now. They're really in the rhythm, and they're playing well together on this Brawl comp. I mean, we've seen some dominance on dive compositions from them, but now we're seeing it in a more Brawl comp, so it's good for them.
Nice slam from Zaya going to pick off Iconic, but Nasty is down. Tuska should get some value with that high noon. Barry getting a pick on the Fun Jin. Having a little bit of trouble with that Hanzo headshot, and Aria going to be taking him out. Keekmon Swag down. They have the stall potential. Drexel 2 can win this fight as long as they just stay alive.
We're watching a puts-down match. This is exactly when the Basher would come out. But I don't think Drexel 2 is very aware of that strategy. That was a bit of a long fight in that last site there on point 3. King's Row, and that was pretty good for Drexel. They were able to stall them out for quite a while. We've only got 3.5 minutes left on the clock now, but a couple of ultimates on the way in the oven here for Space Created is going to be bad news for them.
Dragon getting eaten by Keekmon Swag. Barry shooting it maybe just a little bit too close to where he wanted the angle on, and that's going to get taken out. Garfield with a big on to Fun Jin on that Roadhog, still on that character. We've got a few ultimates online, and Zaya opting to use his Shatter. Very large.
Great mechanical prowess there from Zaya after that Earth Shadow, deciding to step to the side, crouch, and throw that Fire Strike instead of just swinging into them. It just gave himself so much more damage. Great little note there from him.
Yeah, Zaya's Reinhardt is quite good. Definitely more experience on it than he is on the ball. I know he's working on it, which is exactly what these scrim settings are for, is to be educational.
Oh my god, there's just so much happening right now. Unwritten on the high ground, just trying to keep his team desperately alive here, but he can't see them. He can just shoot towards them now. Drexel getting pushed back quite a bit here. Tuska with the high noon to try to seal the deal here. He'll catch one, and Zumi is just a little bit too slow to get there.
Not gonna happen. The Drexel 2 really struggling to build any momentum, and in my opinion, chiefly due to the fact that it's super difficult against a comp like that to even play Reinhardt in the first place, let alone do well. I think Zaya really picked it up there on the third point. I enjoyed it. I thought Zaya was playing decently well, but unfortunately, the composition that created space opted to play really helped to mitigate it. We're going to see a little bit of the Junkrat play here. Again, my favorite character. A lot of mines here. Going to put him a ton of damage up front and ensure that nobody manages to get any value from existing in a place where Junkrat can see. Going to see a little bit of a Gario Kid's Doomfist here. We're seeing a lot of the Echo, but now we get to see a little bit of the Doom prowess. See if any architecture used here. Little punch, nice.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more straightforward here of a character than Echo is, and especially on a map like this where your goal is just to hit people who are in front of you. Gario Kid getting a lot of good little flanks left and right, you know, coming back with a fully charged punch, catching players a couple of times, not every time, but good job overall so far from a Gario Kid. Defense with Doomfist is going to be a little bit more difficult than, you know, your offense would be, but we'll see how it goes down. I mean, it really could go any way with this Doomfist.
Yeah, I could see a Gario Kid managing to pop off on this Doomfist here, but I could also manage to see Barry just play Cassidy, sit back, and watch the 17-minute rollout end in a pretty anticlimactic flashbang right-click if Barry manages to play his cards right. CB helping us out in the spectator position. Make sure you guys follow Now Loading Esports on our other social medias. We've got Twitter, Instagram, maybe a few others that CB created himself. You know, I don't think Now Loading Esports has created the OnlyFans quite yet.
Yeah, I believe
we'll
that I'm in the process. There's some litigation happening in the background for that right now. But yeah, Instagram, I believe it's Now Loading TV. We've just opened that up, and of course YouTube and Twitch, Now Loading Esports. Give us a quick little follow and subscribe if you're really interested. We are now affiliate, so subscribe. We've got some emotes for you.
Yeah, I actually saw the emotes as they were being made. I really liked them. They were pretty cute. So I might consider subscribing myself just for access to those.
Alright, it's Drexel's turn on the offense here. It's their time to shine. They want to show Space Created that they are not to be messed with. Garfield Pipe with a really, elegant swing around and slam there.
It's
not finding
like
much.
when you watch a boxer sort of wind up his punch before sending it into the face of the team. Red's gonna get taken out by the Gario Kid Doomfist immediately. Another punch from Gario Kid can take out Barry, and this fight's already over. A little atypical to see a ball and a Reinhardt here on King's Row, but I'm not against it. Iconic. Little too overzealous there. Can I get punished immediately for that frontal positioning?
That's really good for Drexel because now they can walk in here without that big rectangle man in the way. They're going to get at least a lot of percent here until Keegmon Swag has to come and contest on the point. Drexel taking a little bit of space up front here, but Zaya, like, so much damage coming in on the front. His supports are going to have to use a lot of their abilities early, and now look, players are starting to die on the side of Drexel because they just don't have those defensive cooldowns.
Yeah, a little sloppy from Drexel too. The window there helps to mitigate the point presence there. Managing to play that L wall, playing the corner up towards the front of the point on the hotel would really help in sort of countering that window. You don't, if Space Created has that point presence, you have to have that presence of mind to say, okay, we're not going to cap point anyway, there's no point standing on it. Let's back up a little bit. Let's mitigate the amount of value that window gets.
Drexel with an opportunity now. Barrow's going to try to find Iconic here while he's separated from the rest of his team. Deo with a backward shatter. We'll find one, maybe two.
The beat coming from Zumi, not quite strapped yet. They're going to try and get some picks here. Nice high noon. They're going to need to back off a little bit, and the counter beat coming in from Funjin might make this a winnable fight for Space Created. Wow.
Tuska saw an opportunity and he took it there against Zaya, was low enough, had the flashbang, threw it over the shield. Couple of quick headshots. And that's bad news for Drexel. They need that Reinhardt there, they need that protector. That main tank down is bad news for them.
Yeah, if I could give one word of praise to Space Created, it would be ult usage. I mean, that super disciplined and really well timed, and they're quite good at not overusing them in most scenarios. In my opinion, it's really where Drexel's losing a lot of the fight is in those moments where you see 6 ultimates at once come out from Drexel 2, and you know, Space Created managing to only respond with maybe 1 or 2 and still win the team fight.
Yeah, Barrow's in a great position on the high ground here to try to shoot at some players who are bothering his teammates. He's just unable to get a lot of damage here now until this Deadeye will come out and catch 3!
My!
Agario Kid answering quickly, but I mean, he's only one man. He can't do all of that.
Too little too late on the side of Space Created. That High Noon catches 3, and it's a quick teamfight win at the end of the day for Drexel 2.
Yeah, that was, I mean, with Deadeye, I mean, I've said this last week, I've said this many times, you either get 0 and you die, or you get 4, and it's huge, so, and, you know, getting 4 is definitely a little bit more rare than the dying state, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're going to see Zaya getting a little overzealous and getting picked off rather quickly. Drexel 2 might need to back off a little bit. Garfield getting out of mech. Yeah, that's definitely going to need to be a little bit of a reverse here from Drexel 2 as they get caught in a pretty infamous choke to try and get out of flying on King's Row.
Space Created going for a touch spawn challenge, any percent glitchless here as they're pushing up super far, but you'll see Barrow in the back line really far behind. It's gonna be looking for a flashbang kill, but he pulled the trigger too quickly.
No, run.
He almost had it.
No.
If he was just a little bit more patient, he might have had something there, but just pulled the trigger too early. His team wasn't even there to follow up. I think it was just a bad move. We've got
going on those huge flanks as Cassidy are pretty risky. We're going to see a Blizzard coming in from Nasty, going to manage to take out a Agario Kid. Ryan going to get pinned out of the Immortality field. Zaya picking off Iconic. Bomb going to be coming through from... Oh!
Wow, managed just to catch Zaya out there. That's actually really unfortunate for them. This should still be a team fight win if they're able to regroup here, and on a remake kill from Garfield Pipe, it looks like the cart will continue to move. Zumi and Foonjin just Lucio 1v1ing, no one dying for a while there until he gets a little help from his team.
Yeah, a little disrespectful breaking that little 1v1 there. No honor.
Yeah, I might have to bring that up with the board of ethics later. Barrow might be running into a bad spot here.
Not again, Barry, please.
Be forced to use that meteor strike, which I guess was net positive for Barrow, but now, barely surviving.
Just
with the
gets
help
the
of Zumi.
beat. The beat came and that was clutch.
All the way back.
They're gonna get taken out while this excursion is happening. Garfield gonna be taken out, and it's just an immediate team fight loss for Drexel 2. Chuck that one up to a fat finger again. Ignore that.
I mean, we had a lot of players alive on Drexel's side, but they were just so far away. Iconic trying to time that charge just didn't work out, but Nasty's still alive and decides to use that Blizzard.
More of a spacing Blizzard, if anything, but it is a little bit helpful. Keeps the Devo away and keeps the Reinhardt pushed back a little bit, and it's going to force out a beat from the side of Foonjin. The window coming out from Unwritten, making this winnable. I think Drexel 2 can do this.
This window just getting so much extra healing and damage for his team on this long sightline might be the team fight for them.
Taken out. Zaya going huge.
Yeah.
Big slam coming through, going to pick off. No one yet. There we go. Foonjin gone. Baptiste on the side of Space Created. Going to throw out that Immort, try to live on not cap payload as long as possible. There he goes. See if Eminon. And we're going to see if Drexel 2 manages to fully cap King's Row here on this third point.
Yeah, looked really shaky from them at the start on that first point. Agario Kid just ripping apart the backline really early in most team fights, and now we see Agario Kid again on this Doomfist trying to find some players that are left alone.
Yeah, we got some ultimates on the side of both, so we're going to see who starts first. Iconic with that shatter. Hopefully Zay is aware of that. Otherwise, things could get messy real quick. The High Noon coming in from Barry. The Bomb Shatter combo. There it is.
Wow, a 3-man kill from the Earth Shatter itself. Iconic just putting his foot down there. His big German metal foot, and one where this cart is, and Drexel just stopped in their tracks.
And you know what I would call that buff that they gave to Reinhardt that allowed him to kill people with the Shatter?
What would you call it, Rick?
I think I'd call it Iconic.
Oh, Wow.
Wow.
And the Grammy goes too.
Yeah.
Big Rick.
Thank you.
Just had the Oscar, but you get the idea. Award shows are all the same.
Can't say the
Drexel
opposite.
pushing up here. It's their last chance here. They got a couple ultimates here. Zaya with a big starter for his team there. Just won't. Nothing will come out of it because of his team's position. And now supports just have so much work cut out for them. A great hook onto Agario Kid from Garfield Pipe on this little Roadhog gadget swap here, but it just doesn't find a kill. Drexel's fighting
and a winner to re-engage
everywhere.
for Drexel if they just manage to touch the point. There comes the beat. Gonna get punched off. No touch yet. And it's not gonna happen. Zaya barely not making it in space created. Going to take it.
Wow.
Well done.
Yeah, well done. A great defense from Space Created. They had a great first point. They had a shaky second half of second point. But, I mean, take up the shatter here that we saw after this play of the game. We see a bit of an interesting angle on the left side. It's manages to catch a player. I mean, that brings me back of shades of Reinhardt Earthshatter 1.0 when that thing used to hit players who weren't even close to it. And there it is, just catching him right through the corner. Definitely changed the fight, right? Definitely changed the fight.
Absolutely. Yeah, really good stuff, honestly, for both Reinhardts. We're going to see a little bit of that Cole Cassidy from the side of Barry here. Going to get killed, but not before he manages to take out 3 of Agario Kid's team. It's just too little, too late, and the team fight's over.
Definitely an interesting point of view, seeing that McCree just rip through all of those players, and yeah. I believe it was Drexel on offense here. Yeah, we saw a 3-man shatter onto Drexel. Iconic, just catching 3 before he fell to Barry there. I mean, it's such a close range shatter. I still honestly forget that Reinhardt had that change done. It definitely surprises me when I instantly die from that.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a surprise still. I've been playing with it for a little while, so I'm more used to it than I used to be. But for sure, a fun change in my opinion. I enjoy when it happens on occasion, and very rarely pull my hair out when I get hit by it, because I'm a very calm and level-headed player, especially in the moment when it happens.
Right,
We do
and
have an interview. We do have an interviewee here waiting. If you want to.
yeah, who are we
Bring
gonna be
them in here.
interviewing, Rick?
Today will be unwritten. Her name is Sophie, if you were curious, and I will bring her in here now. Hello, Sophie.
Hello.
Welcome to the stream. I mean, congrats on a good scrim. I hope that you guys got a lot of content that you can look back on. I'm a big fan of the Ana play. Specifically, I want to jump into a question here for you. We saw so many nano boosts on Dorado. When the team is taking that much damage, right? You guys pushing up on offense on Dorado took so much damage that those nano boosts come so frequently. Is there ever a point where you don't want to give it to your Winston and you want to put it on somebody else?
There are some points. I know there are some points where like my DPS are doing really well and they're about to die, and I'll just give them the nano. Usually, we only give it to Monkey if it's just like a coordinated dive. So most of the time, we kind of call out whether we want to give it to Monkey or not. But there are some times where I have given it to our DPS if they're gonna die. Like there's some examples on Blizzard World where I had given Barry nano.
Right. Those like quick defensive, like save your butt kind of nanos
Yeah.
are also what can change a team fight, because not only does nano keep you from dying, but also makes you, a wrecking house offensively, and so that can swing the fight in your team pretty quickly. Rick, do you have anything?
Actually, yeah, I've got a question. When you're so obviously Iconic, the ball player for Space Created, was pretty proficient at the ball. What are your immediate instincts when you go up against somebody who you can immediately identify as sort of doing very well on their role when they're playing ball? Do you sort of insta-swap to that Brig? Do you alter your play style to try and cancel out the value from the Echo that they were getting in from a Gario kid. What's your thought process?
Well, first I kind of try and communicate with Zumi and see what she wants to do, and if she wants to make the swap to break, then we'll do that. But if not, I'll swap to break, depending on what we're running, and kind of try and tackle that. Either that or kind of try and communicate with our team and be like, hey, we need some peel. And on top of making swaps, kind of have that on top of it.
I like it. I think the communication is a key part of helping to counter any flanker, and specifically ones that get so much value like Ball. We got a playlist to look at here if you want to join the Discord stream.
Yeah.
Yep. You'll see the screen on the right side is the one you'll want to take a look at. So, biggest thing tonight. Let's see. If you could give me one big takeaway from your scrims tonight that your team's going to have to work on in your next Drexel practices, what is that one thing?
I think definitely engaging not only like as a team, but just kind of trying to remain as a group. Even if we're split, kind of having the same mindset with each other and knowing what everyone's doing is really important. I feel like that's something we could definitely work on.
I do think that you guys have a lot of playmakers on the team, and I think that coordinating those playmakers is going to mean that you guys are going to be unstoppable. We saw some really great defense on a couple of maps. Which map was it where you guys held? Was it Dorado? You guys held first on?
Yeah, Dorado.
Yeah, Dorado was good.
Dorado was second, I believe. Right?
Oh, was it? No, what?
Or no, yeah, they pushed.
No, they held
second.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
with this nice nasty play.
yeah, Nasty on the Symmetra. Play Symmetra a lot. Is that something that you guys are? Is that like a comfort pick for Nasty?
It's a combination of a comfort pick and also having that TP. I think for our team can be very useful, especially as we're coming back. Like when Nasty got that play on Dorado, he had the TP up, and we just were able to come right back and help him out when we could. I feel like Nasty's a very good Symmetra in that case, and making sure everybody like has the right support from a Symmetra.
I like watching the teleporter a lot. I thought it was super interesting and something that I've seen you guys get rolled by in the past, and now that you guys get to use it, you're playing well with it. So I definitely see the learning, even if things look dark now. No, I just from my perspective can see you guys improving.
Yeah, we're definitely working on it with the Sim TP. I feel like that will be soon a very strong point, especially on Lijiang. If we can coordinate and use that TP well, I think we'll do good.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the stream. We appreciate your time, and it was a great scrim to watch. I hope you have a good evening.
Thanks for having me. You too.
Thank you.
Big Rick, you want to close us out?
Absolutely. Once again, we've got our socials that we've already plugged. We've got our Twitter, and most importantly, obviously, we've got our Twitch and our YouTube accounts. It'd mean the world to both me and everybody here at Now Loading if you were to hit us with that follow, maybe a subscribe on YouTube, and if you're feeling generous to subscribe onto Twitch, you get a few emotes that I myself really enjoy. But other than that, thank you to Sophie for joining us. Thank you to Connor for helping me cast today on short notice. All of you have a great night and take care.